All right, guys, so I just wanted to tell you one more time how this works. So if you're watching this video, maybe you are absent or you just want to get one more time what these angles are called. So again, we are looking at two parallel lines, okay, and they have been cut, so to speak. They have been interrupted. They have been, right, cut line jagged through there, but they have been cut by what is called a transversal, okay? And what happens is when the lines are parallel, then some of these angles that they form share a specific relationship to one another, okay? So the first thing that I want to talk to you about is the difference between interior and exterior angles. Okay, so interior and exterior. So with the two parallel lines, okay, if I cover up what's on the inside, then angles 1, 2, 7, and 8 are called exterior angles because they're on the outside, okay? If I cover up the outside part, right, the angles that are on the inside, those are called interior angles. Okay, so interior angles are on the inside, exterior angles are on the outside. So these are also exterior. There's another little interesting word that you need to know, and that is the word alternate. Okay, alternate. If you're going to alternate between something, then you're doing one thing and then something else, right? And so an alternate, or on the alternating sides, we're looking at the alternating sides of the transversal, okay? So like number 1 is on this side, number 4 is on that side. They're on alternate sides, okay? Number 2, angle 2 is up here. Angle 7 is on the alternate side of the transversal. So your eyes kind of focus on the transversal line, and it's on opposite sides. So when you put them together, okay, so when you put those two words together, alternate exterior, okay, we're looking at opposite sides of the transversal, and we're also looking at angles that are on the outside of the picture. So an alternate exterior pair or group would be number 1 and number 8 because they're on opposite sides of the transversal and on the outside. Okay, so 1 and 8 are alternate exterior angles. The same thing with numbered angle 2 and angle 7. They're alternate or opposite, and then they're exterior because they're on the outside. So angle 2 and angle 7, those are alternate exterior angles. Okay, when you do it with the word interior, so we want alternate interior angles. So this time we're looking at the 3, 4, 5, and 6, but you want them to be on alternate sides or opposite sides of the transversal. So you're looking at 3 and 6. So see how they're on opposite sides, and they're interior because they're on the inside of the picture. So 3 and 6 are going to be alternate interior angles. So are 4 and 5. Okay, so that's a relationship that those angles have. Now, there's more, I'm just saying, so hang tight. All right, so another group or another type of angles that there are angles that are called same side interior angles, okay? Sometimes, though, we don't use the word same side, and sometimes you might see consecutive interior angles. And these are just two different words and phrases to mean the same thing, okay? So, you know, sometimes I'm Mom, sometimes I'm Mrs. Hunsaker. Sometimes you say same side, sometimes you say consecutive, okay? But the deal with consecutive interior angles means that they're on the same side of the transversal. So here's the transversal line. They have to be interior, so they have to be on the inside, and then they have to be on the same side, and so that would be angles 3 and 5. They are same side interior angles. So is 4 and 6 because they're on the same side. They're consecutive next to each other, this angle, then this angle, okay? And they are same side interior angles. There's also what are called same side exterior, or we call them consecutive, whoops, I can't spell, consecutive exterior. Okay, so again, same side and consecutive are just two different names for the exact same thing. Okay, but we're looking for things that are on the same side of the transversal, so 2 and 8, but exterior because they're out, okay, on the outside of the picture. So 2 and 8 would be consecutive exterior or same side exterior, and so would angle 1 and angle 7. Okay? All right, one more thing for you, one more type. Oh no, Miss Hunsaker, what did you do? You totally cut your paper in half. I sure did. Check this out, okay? If you can take the top part, the 1, 2, 3, 4, and you put it right on top of, and line those lines up, right on top of the other one, right? What angle number would be right underneath number 1? Number 5. Right underneath number 3 would be number 7. Okay, so those have a special property to them. So number 1 and number 5. Underneath number 3 was number 7 again, so 3 and 7. Underneath number 2 is 6, so 2 and 6. And then underneath number 4 is number 8. Those are actually called corresponding angles because they correspond with one another. They're in the same location. So this group would get picked up and just put on top of that group. Okay, now here's what is fantastic, flipping amazing, okay? All right, so here comes the kicker. Here comes the really fun part, okay? If you take these two things, all right, so corresponding angles, remember our lines were parallel. If I take my corresponding angles and I line up the lines, okay? So hopefully you can see that okay? Okay? Angle 1 and angle 5, if you look through it, they're the same angle. They have the same opening. So corresponding angles are equal to one another. They're equal to one another. Okay? Corresponding angles equal one another. Remember we had alternate exterior angles. One of our groups, or one of our pairs was 1 and 8 and 2 and 7. So what I'm going to do now is go line that up. So if I turn angle 1 and I put it on top of angle 8 and I line up my lines, can you see that through there? 1 is on top of 8. 2 is on top of the 7. You can kind of see it back there. Guess what? Those are equal to each other. They're equal. So alternate exterior angles are equal. All right. Alternate interior angles were 3 and 6 and 4 and 5. So I'm going to go line those up. Okay. So I'm going to put number 3 on top of number 6. Line up my lines, and guess what? You can see my 6. There's a 3 behind it. Okay. If you can see that behind it. They're equal. Holy bananas. It's so awesome. All right. Same side interior and same side exterior. So let's go line up 4 and 6 because that was a same side interior. Okay. So I'm going to take number 4, which is right here, and number 6, which is down here, and I'm going to line them up to the best that I can. So I'm going to have to do some really weird moving around of my paper, but when I get it in there, guess what? They're not the same. They're not the same, okay? All right, so I wrote this down for you. I kind of took a little bit of notes on our little, our ripped up sheet of paper, okay? But remember, corresponding angles turned out to be equal to each other. alternate interior were equal, alternate exterior angles were equal, but the same side ones were not. Okay, so I put that in a nice little thing for you. Again, if the lines are parallel, remember we started out with parallel lines, so if the lines are parallel, corresponding angles, alternate interior angles, and exterior angles, these are all going to be equal to each other. Okay, they're equal to each other. It's also called congruent. Okay, they're also congruent. They're equal to each other. Consecutive interior angles or same side interior and exterior angles, these are not though. These guys are not equal to each other. And what happens when the lines are parallel, okay, these end up being supplementary. Do you remember what supplementary means? These are supplementary angles. I'm hoping that you just said that they add up to equal 180. Okay, so these are all of the definitions that we did in class today, and these are the important things we need to know so that we can go find missing angles. Okay?